Hi, good morning. I'm Steve Patton, president of HCM Property Management. I'm here with my director of operations, Ken Marabojo, who's also a licensed California attorney. So we want to spend a little time talking about some landlord-tenant relation issues, and hopefully this can be some help with you in your landlording journey. So one of the things that comes up periodically is we have tenants that get a divorce. That's unfortunate, but it happens. So what do you do with the tenant? Do you take the divorced one off? Can they take them off? Should you take them off? Ken, what do you think?
Well, it's not in the best interest of the property manager or the owner to take anybody off the lease as long as it's a term lease. You want to keep them on there as long as possible because they'll be responsible for the payment. However, once the lease expires, or if it's a month-to-month, if they give proper notice, then once that notice expires, they would no longer be responsible. But keep them on there as long as possible. You just have another pocket to collect your rent.
Got it. So typically we'll see that where the one of the spouses is like, I'm leaving, I don't want to be on the lease anymore, so don't take them off, right? There's no legal obligation to take them off the lease at that point. Right?
That's correct.
But then at the end of the lease, at that point, what happens?
Well, if the other spouse wants to remain in the property and the owner wants to renew the lease, then you can qualify her and see if she can,
or
he or she, and see if they qualify for to rent the property. If not, then you would not renew the lease and
Okay. And then on that note, I think you mentioned if it was a month-to-month lease agreement and one of the spouses gives notice, and I think this applies to roommate situations also, since the leases are jointly and severally liable for them. If they're on a month-to-month lease and one of the spouses gives a 30-day notice, what happens at that point?
Well, depending on where you live and whether or not there's rent protections, which inhibit you from just evicting a tenant without proper notice or payment to evict it, you could require that the remaining tenant qualify for the lease. If they don't have the financial viability to remain on that lease, then you could let them know that the lease is going to expire.
So you would provide them like a notice of termination of tenancy or something like that to let them know that you're not going to be renewing it?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. I think that answers that question for us, Ken. Thanks very much. And thank you, everybody, for watching. If we can be any help to you at HCM Property Management, please feel free to reach out and give us a call.